asalaamaaleykum mbokk ñuy seetaan lii di programme Issuse bu leen di ñëwal fii nii si N24 TV ku leen toogal fii nii tey mu doon kii di Awa Tall lii di programme boo xam ne daf leen di ñëwal àllarba bu nekk ñeenti waxtu tamali lii di si juróom-benni waxtu si ngoon te nag ñu am fii nii lii di National Unity Party ku leen fi toogal mu doon kii seen waxkat bi ñu gën koo xamee si Seydina Aboubacar Jaaju moom mu doon lii di seen waxkat jëmale ko lii di si National Unity Party tey nag mu teewal fii lii di ab parti bi am na lii di ab lacc yoo xam ne foofu lañ koy gën a tàmbali ñu commencé lii di programme bi si biir kër gi kon nag asalaamaaleykum Aboubacar si programme bi.
waaleykum salaam wa rahmatullah wa barakaatu jërëjëf Awa di la nuyu di nuyu waa N24 yëpp. di nuyu seen déglukat yi ak seen seetaankat yi fu waay mënti nekk rek maa ngi leen di nuyu di leen sant di leen gërëm and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be here today.
Okay, you're always welcome. Lii di programme boo xam ne dañuy faral di invite politicians yi kilifa diine yi kilifa aaday ñëw fii nii di waxtaan lépp loo xam ne dafa soxal lii di réew mi tey nag ñu gis fii ñaar fukka ak ñaari political parties yoo xam ne jamono ji ñu ngi taxaw pour rek sàkku lii di ab nguur gi jëmale ko lii di si 2026 lii di presidential election yoo xam ne ñu ngi koy waajal fii nii si biir réew mi te benn si ñu mu doon lii di National Unity Party waaye tey gis nañ ni yi ngeen di tànn kii di docteur Lamine J Darboe mu doon lii di seen jiital jëmale ko lii di si parti bi yéen seen parti bi tey soo leen taxawee lii di si biir réew mi yan fan na ngeen nekk di uti pour rek gis ne lii di après mu dem kanam.
jërëjëf si latte bi ma latte Awa. kontaan naa trop yaa ngi laal place bu important. first of all dama nuyu suma njiit bi. di His Excellency Dr Lamine J Darboe. National Executive Committee NUP ñëpp maa ngi leen di nuyu di leen sant di leen gërëm. di ñaanal tamit suma former parti leader di faatu. kii di Abdoulaye Ibrahima Jammeh. yal na ko yàlla yërëm yal na ko yàlla xare àjjana. latte bi nga latte dafa am solo trop. ndik réew mi fu mu tollu tey. dafa important trop pour nit ñi ñu sànni karta ñu bàyyi seen xel kan nañ nekk di sànni karta. ndik sànni nañ karta for the longest time. but luñ nekk di séntu si wàllum jëm kanam lu si gën a bëri mënuñoo fexe ba ñu am ko. first of all is important pour ñu tànn ki xamante ne dafa jub dafa am luñ dee integrity doon ki xamante ne dafa jub trop. Dr Lamine J Darboe soo xoolee professional he is a lawyer by profession. te his entire legal career daf ko jublul si wàllum defending the people that truly need it. He is not really in the job for the money. He is not really in the job for reputation or for fame. He is there to make sure that everybody that has been whose rights have been trampled upon mu génn si mu defend ko to the letter. In the case of Ousainou Bojang is a clear example. I'm not going to comment much on it because case B is still in the course. So I have no right to sit here and start analyzing on the issue because in fact I'm not a legal luminary. Again, nga hold the case of the Auditor General as well. So lii dafa nekk cases yoo xamante ne case la yoo xamante ne dafa involve human right abuses. moom foofu la jublu. donc nga xamante ne suñ ko joxee réew mi dina promote lu ñu good governance and of course the rule of law.
Okay, but léegi concerning about seen parti bi right now you guys are fighting for so much things which includes socio-economic transformation. United the NUP aims to drive meaningful change in the economy of the Gambia. How do you guys stand to implement those strategies?
Now, when you look at the Gambia, there are so many economic factors that we can focus on.
Okay.
First of all, réew bu nekk boo gisee réew yi xamante ne yu gën a develop then they focus on what they have. This is what we call internal resource mobilization. Now take our river Gambia for example. So demee si boori CRR dafa am place yoo xamante ne yàlla daf ñu jàppale daf ñu baaxee ndox bu nee ndox bu sell dégguma olof nag yàlla daf ñu baaxee ndox bu sell bu xamante ne like suñ ko exploiter nuñ ko war a exploiter dafa gën a easy pour ñu amoon all year round agricultural system especially su ñëwee si wàllu maalo bi. Now soo xoolee maalo bu xamante ne buñ dee ji biir réew mi daf dee ndaw trop daf dee niw trop to an extent we still focus more on importing rice to the country. soo xoolee Gambia dañu amoon average of about 40,000-30,000 metric tons bu ñu dee dunda si maalo on a monthly basis. da ngaa gis na like su fekkee ne ñun pare nañ as a country dafa easy trop to be able to garner this. Léegi NUP is telling you soo xoolee suñ logo bi sax di nga gis ne tracteur moo fa nekk ñun agriculture bi dañ ko mécanize. tey soo demee si àll bi lu ñu dee gën a liggéey ba léegi most people are focused on these traditional methods of farming which I think we should grow past that. su ñoo mécanize agriculture it doesn't necessarily mean dañoo assi di machines suñu jokkoon nit ñi pour ñu liggéey déedéet dañoo assi those machines that are required and of course we'll train people ñoo xamante ne ñu mun a use those machines and then won leen naka lañ ko war a am pour use under the supervision of the government whether dafaa nekk state farms or dafaa nekk individual owned farms but dafaa nekk li xamante ne dafaa nekk daf ñu jàppale ñu mun a sustain suñu agriculture through an all year round farming system because ndox bi mun nañoo use ndox bi ñu through irrigation system ñu pump ko from the river to our rice fields even place yoo xamante ne daal amuñ ndox boobu noonu mun nañ koo pump there so that we be able to have enough pour ñu mun a def this rice production bu ñoo soxla that is one. Second, you look at our river Gambia. So xoolee géej bi tey Chinese yi the only reason they came to the Gambia is not because they like us.
Okay.
So gisee gars yi even the EU if you look at how much they are earning from our river it's not because they like us it's because there are resources that they can explore to their benefit.
Okay.
That is why the government of the Gambia should also focus very very well in the fishing industry. Naka lañ koy defee mooy dañoo train suñu ndaw yi ñu understand naka lañ war a explorer géej bi ñu jënd the machinery that is required both the boats and then the fishing nets and everything that they require and of course took them through rigorous training ba nga understand nii la ñu war a def pour ñu mun a explore suñu fishing industry loolu dafaa jàppal di économie bu baax nga xool tey lu gën a bëri suñu famille suñu naka laa de suñu pharmacie lu ñu dee def mooy agricultural production lu ñu dee def mooy mostly is groundnut which in the Gambia mostly loolu leen yaakaar as our cash crop now groundnut bi lu bëri xëj na si tey nguur bi daf dee jënd gerte si pharmacie most of this gerte dañ ko dee either import wala dañ ko dee yóbbu saaro te luñ ci dee process daf dee ndaw torop daf dee néew torop now ñun we are telling you ne ñun you not only support the farmers si sa guys in agricultural field then we also make sure we build these factories boo man dafa sustain the farming system in the Gambia now how do we do this farmers suñu assee seen gerte gi ñun war nañoo am loo xamante ne dafaa nekk factory si xamante ne suñu jëndee ground bean from them mun nañ ko process into either dege bu doy wala diw bu doy balaa ñu nekk di import oil from outside the country we can use the same oil ñu feed the people of the Gambia and then again by extension mun nañ ko re-export which is going to really help in the effects as well.
Okay. That is very important waaye gis nañ ne si biir réew mi fii nii jamono ji dañ dee faral di gis ne nguur bi daf dee dugal ay xaalis yu bëri concerning about agriculture yet there are a lot of importation which is being done in the country recently gis nañ taw bi président taw bu mu nekk di def meet na some private sectors comme mu ngi wax ne like dañ bëgg a jeexal the importation of rice in this country whereby Gambia dinañ mën a taxawal seen boppa support seen boppa do you believe in that idea whereby still the money is coming but yet there is no progress in the agricultural field?
President Barrow's government is not serious about agriculture. That is the mere fact. Now yow farmer nga ñëw nga jënd tractors as a country or as a government nga subsidize ko to farmers nga xoolee leen noonu how do you expect them to grow wala nga si engrais nga subsidize ko how do you expect them to grow fii la ngis pharmacie ñu jaay leen gerte it took a lot of time before pharmacie di recover guys seen xaalis léegi gars yi dee béy mi daf dee baax to an extent duñ ko dee mun a jaay nuñ ko buggee price bi daf dee dem down léegi we had the president here bu pharmacie doon complain about their rice mu ne waaw pharmacie lu ñu dee ji biir Gambia moo gën a seer even course bi naka lañ ko dee waaye ñoo in soose course bu gars yi moo gën a seer ba pare I mean those kind of things are telling you that this government is not really serious about what they're doing now just to answer your question soo ñëwee soo bëggee jàppale the famine government should really take the lead in this okay even though there will be private individuals that they will be supporting like farmers in the up countries mostly ñoom ñu dee engage in farming but government should really take the lead in this most of the monies bu gaa dee pump in agriculture fu ñu ko dee dugal ay workshop nga lay dégga ay jënd moto yu seer ay what like you cannot really understand what they're thinking now tey agriculture is a practical course somebody with a PhD in agricultural studies whether dafa nekk in livestock wala dafa nekk in other seed or whatever it is field boo xamante dafa ko study lu ma ut at the office talk si running AC di enjoy the AC that is not your job you are you read a practical course that is supposed to practicalize in the farm to yield dividend loolu ut si office bi it doesn't make sense these are people ñoo dañu war a train on things that are supposed to benefit the Gambia ba pare gars yi wàññi I'm not saying capacity building is not good but we cannot be focused since the dawn of time capacity building bekkañ so the government should really take the lead in this ñu make sure we mechanize agriculture under the supervision of the government xaalis suñ ko pom ñu make sure ñu pom ko in something that is so sustainable to an extent dina yield the dividend that we need that is the fact
back to the question based on agriculture tey bu doon yéen a nekkoon si biir nguur gi what are some of the steps yoo leen di jël to make sure that agriculture is sustainable here in the Gambia
if you look at the NUP there is what we call decentralization it's a governance structure now Ministry of Agriculture lu moo ut in Banjul Ministry of Agriculture lu moo seen branches yi seen departments lu moo ut in Cape Point lu moo ut in Yundum lu mu faa ut. Now the majority of our farmlands are in the countries, are in the provinces. Loolu dina bokk su xamante dafa am ministre soo xamante dañ ko tasaare si biir réew mi. Now let's say for example Ministry of Agriculture nga ikkati nga yóbbu ko bes fii nii Jahali Pacha. It is closer to the rice fields. That is one practical aspect of it. You xamante dafa motivate those people that are with the technical know-how pour guy invest seen knowledge in the farm. That is one. Secondly, like I said, dañoo mechanize the agriculture. Not necessarily buying tractors and subsidizing to farmers. We will make sure that our government will take lead in the agricultural sector. Bring in the required material, train the required skill, and make sure that these people are look, we all have access to the internet. Most of these countries are living you do legacy rice fields. Machine bi mun na moo ji, machine boobu mun na moo harvest, machine boobu sax mun na koo wol sax. Understand? These are some of the mechanization that we are talking about. Not just nga dem nga jënd tractor at a price, nga subsidize ko to farmers, nga ne waaw dama jàppale farmers. It doesn't make sense. And the first thing they did when they came to office was those tractors yoo xamante ne former president Jammeh nguuram bi joxoon na ko farmers yi lu ñu def mooy dañ ñëw ñu njëkk a nangu tractors yi. They took it from them. ñu jaay ko wala ñu séenoo ko seen biir gis nañ what is happening at the current National Assembly Select Committee Commission bi bu nekk di investigate that same issue. So this is to tell you they're only playing political games for political power. President Barrow is more interested in remaining in power than doing the actual job. That is why the Gambians need to change the dynamics. How do we change the dynamics? Let's listen to what politicians are saying. Let's look at the practicality of what they intend to do. And then again, you make sure that you in the end, we are all going to pay the price. It's expensive. There are bags of rice in this country that cost about $3,300.
Sure.
American rice, many people are saying it's not even good. It is costing about $2,300. In plus, $2,500. How long are we going to live like this? Gambian basic commodity buñ dee gën a rely on for our sustenance mooy maalo bi. So if the government cannot help us with all these natural resources yàlla bu ñu may ñu mënuñoo am suñu boppa si wàllum mbéy mi si wàllum ji maalo ji, then where do we go from here? That is why the National Unity Party is saying ñun am nañ xam-xam bi am nañ xelaat bi am nañ the required policy and programs pour make sure ñu transform suñu agriculture into a practical scale bu xamante ne dafa yield the dividend that the Gambia really need.
Okay, loolu mu nekk loo xam ne am na solo bu baax a baax ba tey suñu fa jógee dinañ dem seeti benn question which is very very important. Because right now gis nañ ne victims yoo xam ne dañu amoon ay tolof jëmale ko lii di si nguuri former président Yaya Jammeh am na ñoo xam ne ba tey daal ñu ngi génn di wax ne nguur bi nekkul di joxe xaalis for reparation. Gis nañ story boo xam ne dañ wax ne like assets yoo xam ne dañ ko jaayoon they ubbi an account foo xam ne xaalis bi foofu la doon dem. So government bi spend like 1 billion if I am not wrong with that. So dañ wax ne xaalis boobu noonu instead of ñu ko doon spend it should be given to the victims for them to buy medications wala dem like si yeneen réew uti fa faj like 100 and something ñoo xam ne ñàkk nañ seen bakkan and others are still waiting for the reparation. How do you see that situation?
Thank you for that question, Awa. You see, rombul lu ma fi jógee wax. Like I said, and I'm going to repeat, President Barrow is more interested in remaining in power than doing the actual job.
Okay.
When he was coming to power in 2016, part of the campaign promises that he made was to make sure mu sigil the plight of those victims. There is nothing as a country that we can do until ñu xamante ne ñu seen nit ñi faatu ñu mun gaay jóg. They can never recover them. But what we can do as a country is to make sure ñoomante ñu nekk di dund this pain, those victims, buñ feel the loss of their people. How do we do that? You make sure reparations are done in a manner that will sustain them. Not just to give them 1 million each, but also to give them a lifelong insurance policy. A lifetime insurance policy. boo xamante ne dafa take care of their education, dafa take care of their healthcare, dafa take care of their basic needs. Imagine, in fact, the victims, and I think the victims you require was about hundreds of millions like I require. But like you said, these assets that we have sold was about 1 billion. If the government was really serious, they could have given them that money. But for me, or for us as a party, you then feel the best thing that we can do right now is to make sure that you have a lifetime insurance policy for these victims. There are people, most of them are stroke. I know a person, she was really struggling for even that opportunity from the government mu dem faju.
Okay.
She was really struggling until at the latter part she was going to Dakar and coming mu faatu.
Yes.
So ñun ñu war a am pour nekk ñi xamante ne ñu war a actually do the actual job. How do we do is to make sure these victims are being well accommodated, they've been well taken care of. Before even they think of selling all these compounds that former President Jammeh, that was seized from former President Jammeh, they could have given them to the victims. ñoo xamante ne amuñ seen kër yi boppa. Okay, so this pursuit of justice against Jammeh, it's a requirement for the government. We understand that, but again, bull fighting the people that are actually suffering, that actually paid the price.
Okay.
You know, the most important facet of this situation that we find ourselves in.
Yeah. Okay. We have another question which is very important. Concerning about the education level in the Gambia, because they really grade 12s are trying, try concerning about the education. Why don't I guess most of the courses that students are studying either in the UTG or in the college, dunde muna am ligay bobu non. Tay da nga study course bi at the end of the day nga dem nekk lenen. How do you consider the education of the Gambia? And then most in the schools, bilegi we are like in the old age, like in the old system where students are being told draw and label, and in other countries, for even kindergartens, they are engaged in skills. Come so they may take China. Kindergartens, like they have so much talent and skill in them. Sometimes you even admire them, like watching them. And then so new is big Gambia every day. Dem be grade 12. This is where you need to specialize, and it's very important. Like for early ages, you have students at least when you specialize in a particular area, like they can help themselves in future.
That is a very important question, Awa. I remember back in the day, Garanyo si board bi general science draw amoeba.
Amoeba, yeah.
Or draw, Spirogera. I mean, those things are just, dafa ñu tardé la won torop.
Yeah.
But again, I would love to commend the President, His Excellency President Adama Barrow, through the Ministry of both Higher Education, Research Science and Technology, Professor Per Gomez. He was my dean at the university back in the day. And of course, Dr. Habibatu, like they're doing a great job. The fact of the matter is, guy transforms the educational system.
Okay.
Now, so whole jangi tubab, mostly what the white man did to us is, guy new jungle on how to serve in their system.
Okay.
Which in real sense do not really reflect our reality. They become job seekers rather than job creators.
Okay.
When Prof came, Lum prioritize more you said. Vocational training. These are things you so they into the NUP manifesto think of a figure.
Okay.
So it's important if the government do good, we will give them thumbs up. No, you've done great.
Yeah.
If they do bad, we will challenge them and then we'll give them solutions. Now, there is room for improvement. Okay. There is a lot that we can do as a country, which I believe we are still on the right footing when it comes to the education aspect.
Okay.
It's important for people to understand it. Dafa am certain areas we focus more on it. Dafa difficult for government to be able to employ everybody.
Okay.
But I say this practical courses, you want carpentry, tailoring, all these skills you can
vocational training centers.
Exactly. In the end, these people are going to be job creators. They're not going to be just job seekers.
Okay.
And then let the government not stop there. Let them create a finance mechanism for them, a microfinance sort of government. These students who graduate annually from these vocational training institutions, you have a specific funding in place.
Okay.
So, a loan sort of that will be provided to these people. After training them, you give them a loan, and then don't just give them that loan. Interest free would have been better, but don't just give them that loan. Give them someone that will facilitate, someone that will help coach them, program to succeed in their businesses. If they are successful, they will at least 3, 4, 5, 6 people you employ them.
Yeah.
It is going to close the unemployment gap. In the same vein, by extension, involved in agriculture, petty trading, in the commercial sector. These are people that need help.
Okay.
Now, how do you minimize the rate of unemployment in the market? These are the people that we empower, because the fact of the matter is, we munta employ them.
Okay.
Okay, they cannot do it even if they want. They don't have they don't have the capacity to do it. Now, what you can do is these women, if you empower them, women empowerment, women empowerment, they organize workshop. I mean, for me, it's just dafko jarot.
Okay.
Lunde expensive workshop is more than what we need. What we need is train them, yes, but give them the resources that they need to grow. That is what the government should prioritize in. So, if you have a microfinance sort of government, if you have a jigeni, you lebal len halis, you train them, you mentor them, you coach them, to an extent they are able to succeed in their businesses.
Okay.
Again, these youths that are in business, let's say entrepreneurs and all that, so I'm a very good business idea. Government have a specific funding mechanism for this youth.
Yeah.
Tanga gis na dafa discourage the rate of drug abuse in this country. Irregular migration and all this is born in issues that affect society. So of course the government is doing great. We commend them for that, but I think there is still room for improvement.
Okay. Not long ago, Sitobini, I think government, a set of women like more than 2,000. You have taken 100 million money to support jigeni in terms of business and entrepreneurship, especially those in the skill sector.
It's a good initiative.
Yeah.
Like I said, there is room for improvement.
Okay.
Like 100, what is 100 million? They want to sustain their business, even though it's a very good sum. But I think the president should not just allocate money. There has to be a sustainable funding mechanism.
Okay.
You also need 1 million. Madam start business mu fail na. That's the end of it.
Okay.
Amuñ ben commercial development bank in the Gambia bu xamantene bu nit ñi fuñ mëna dem let's say this pharmacy or this traders businessmen fuñ dem ñu tap the phone. Tay so solo alone at the bank suñ la tay lifini sa requirements be nga am loan bi like it's just crazy. These are things that the government should chip in pour jappale the local Gambian ko xamantene dafa bëgg invest in the business sector. Okay? So at the end of the day, like what they are doing, so we expand like what we are talking about here, based on with the NUP, what we would have done. Like the sustainable.
Okay.
So Japale ki, there will be enough money for Japale kene.
Okay.
But so ekade the 100 million, nga 1 million, nga buy no, for example, 100,000 Gambians, nga buy no. It's not enough.
Sure.
So there has to be that mechanism, nga Japale, nga nurture, nga train them in whatever they want to do to make sure they're able to succeed in it. Success. Is the game changer. That's what we need here.
Okay. Another question, which is how does Sen Party be? Ban jumtu wala neka dijel pour gis ne healthcare service is improving in the Gambia, like when it comes to government.
You see, just last time President Mimundon argued Gambia, healthcare system is good to an extent. Americans then they knew Fajufini.
Yeah.
How wonder he's referring to the traditional aspect of it, but if he's referring to the conventional, the president has to understand something. New opposition, we are not an enemy to the presidency.
Okay.
We are partners in development. He has to listen.
Okay.
He's the president of everybody in this country. President Barrow needs to understand that he has a social contract with the people. Ne Gambian si yako jox dole bi pour mu delo ñu development, mu delo ñu wergu yaram, mu delo ñu education. Now, if you go to the Gambian medical service day, it's very sad. Da nga dem ci l'hôpital, even a proper testing machine sax mënuñ ko am. Su na testé tamit ñu jox la kayit pour nga dem ci pharmacie bi. Nga dem ci pharmacie bi, the only thing you're able to have is PCM. The president should really reflect on this. Da nga gis yeneen dëkk yoo xamante ne pour access to healthcare dafa over sorry.
Okay.
That is why the NUP is saying that we will not only build the infrastructure, even though they make so every region, every constituency, every ward, every village, so fake a healthcare ward, so a healthcare center, guide go. Doing for them. Look at the amount of students that are graduating from the university, from the Gambia College, from the School of Nursing. Then they bury. Train these people to an extent. Now this community nursing services.
Okay.
Okay? They will be living in the community. There will be people who the people in the community directly. It is curable. So again, do infrastructure. Make sure you provide them with the required mechanism.
Okay.
New si garab la, si material la, si equipment la, whatever they need, the government will make sure you invest in making sure these things are happening. Now, one thing we will also do, like I said, accountability is very, very important. Halis bu nekk di dugal si healthcare bi dafa bari.
Okay.
And then nurses have been accused, they've been alleged. And then they muna tiba garabi, I will not say sacha because fake mako. Then they muna tiba garabi ñu go pharmacy. If these things are true, we are supposed to investigate to get to the bottom of the problem. But we need to make sure there is accountability in the healthcare sector, in as much as there is accountability in other public service sectors. That is why, again, to commend the president for trying to set up the anti-corruption commission, which is a stepping stone towards accountability in this country. It is part of our policies. Then make sure you jump at this anti-corruption commission, you empower them to an extent. soo nekkee si biir réew mi di liggéey si nguur di nga oytu because imagine if a commission is set up the first witness bu gaa di oo to come and testify or to be investigated is the president of the Republic of the Gambia. That is what the NUP would do.
Okay.
Investigation has to start from the head.
Okay.
Let everyone understand that no one will be spared. Every single budget must be recovered, including the health sector. Danga gis all these revenue leakages suñ ko mënee close, this income leakages suñ ko mënee close, dañoo am the required finance or nañ am the required mechanism pour mën a fund suñ healthcare system and other, public institutions.
Yeah. Okay. Gis nañ ne Gambia Immigration Department lu si yàggu demoon nañ Guinea Bissau joxe fa ID cards to the Gambians yoo xam ne ñu fa, but then other opposition parties are gaining the one. It's a way of government making sure to rig the elections, like the upcoming election 2026. And then how do you see that, like, exactly comme doomi Gambians yoo xam ne ñu ngi si biti dégg ñu ngi soxla identity card, am na ñoo xam ne ñu ngi wax ne yes still now si biir réew mi soo soxlee ID card daf dee jafeñ, so how comes naka la mun a easier government bi jóg rek mu dem joxe ID card si doomi Gambians yoo xam ne ñu ngi si biti?
Well, ñun suñu party we don't have evidence of election rigging.
Okay.
So duñ si duga. But let's look at the context. Let's try to understand from the government's perspective.
Okay.
Bitim réew, the best thing you need as a Gambian is a passport.
Okay.
Why didn't they issue them passports? Why ID cards? Li moo nekk di build public opinion that they are on the verge of rigging elections. But my advice to President Barrow is let him be serious in building this country, in shaping the morale of this country.
Okay.
Lulu more important. If he is thinking of rigging election like they said, I'm not saying he's doing it, to be clear. If that is what he's thinking, munge waste time on 2026 he's going. There is no way that he's remaining in power. Let him understand that. Okay? The force that is unraveling is beyond him. Duko musa understand be best munyo gina. Be best munyo pare to take over our country. You see, a revolution. If you look at the history of revolutions, revolution can do ko de talk mu toga. Revolution is born out of anger. It's born out of hunger. And when you look at this country, people are angry, people are hungry. That is the fact. And whether he likes it or not, a revolution will emerge and we will reclaim our country. So the best thing he can do for himself right now is for his legacy. Let him try to protect the little that is left of his legacy. Because whatever he does stay, someday soon, he will be held accounted for. Lolu mom du ñaaka. Mo man so parti la bu faatu Abdoulaye Jammeh yalla ko yalla dem ndeysaan. Lu mo def faral di wax moy seydina ñun we're into politics for our legacy. Te as a leader so xamé ne best dina jot yow di nga musa faatu. Te bo faatu di nga dem nga jublu ci kanami yalla. Bo xamantene besum dara mënulo ko noba. And you will be held accounted for in the court of Allah. Te duga ci naka sudut non. So what does it worth pour yow nga yaasa hereafter just for the sake of dunya? So like I said, we don't have any proof of election rigging, but like if that is what he is thinking, boom, waste time out. Let him save the little that is left of his legacy, of his integrity. We respect him so much as a president. Te bugun ñu dal former president Jammeh mu dal ko. But make no mistake, we will hold every single public official accountable. That is a matter of most. We've seen press releases about the ID card issue, protests for the blah 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 blah. Because I'm so much proof. But what I'm saying is, if the president is really serious about supporting those people who have Gambian documents, give them passports. Okay. Bobbling cannot solve the national ID cards.
Okay. That is very important. Okay, concerning about National Unity Party. They solemnly National Unity Party. What is the style of your governance?
First of all, New governance structure, like I said, we talked about decentralization, like making sure the masses feel the presence of government.
Okay.
That is one. Second, what we call separation of power within the NUP. Now, so most of the countries, most of the parties in this country, so we need election. They feel like politics of patronage, right? Then they feel, okay, I was part of the struggle. Okay. The first thing that the NUP would do is they separate party from government.
Okay.
Dr. Lamin Jeda was winning elections. He is the president of the Republic of the Gambia. He is not only the president of the NUP. So it is incumbent for you to understand that Mom Jedabo, as part of the provision of the Constitution, Mom, the powers, the legitimate powers, to appoint anyone that he wants to work with. Mona mo appoint people from our party. But don't make it out of patronage. It's going to be out of competence. If I appoint X, Y, and Z, they will be able to serve to the best of their ability. Ñun as a government, as a party, what would we do? We will be the first watchdog of his government. Okay. Now, how do we do it? Ñun dañ campaign to the Gambian people on certain principles, on certain ideals. Loolu lañ ko remind. Now, let's say for the first 100 days, for example, we promised the government as a proper healthcare system. As a new constitution. Example, Alajo. These are things that the party has to finalize later. Yeah. So you agree on these terms. His first 100 days, you didn't make sure you got the opportunity to govern. Okay. Within the first 6 months, we didn't go invite to our office. First 6 months, we have 369. That is 90 days. Perfect. It is good timing. Then go invite to the office. So in his office that day, he's going to be an ordinary member of the NUP. Okay. Okay? That committee will be led by the chairperson of the NUP. Dinañ ko laajte questions as to this is what we promised the government. What have you done as a government? Okay. Def nga A, def nga B, waaye C moo de so defuloo ko. This is how we help him to govern. Dinañ make sure ñu nekk police am si biir réew mi in his government as well. Sector boo xamante ne is not working as we promised the government, we bring it to his attention. This is what the NUP choose to do. Thirdly, ñun suñ governance structure within the party itself, dañ am term limit. For the first time in the history of this country, a political party that was registered in 2020. Okay. I'm in term limit within our governance structure. That is to say, Dr. Lamin Jedab has 2 terms. Okay. This is his first term. Even if he wins election, next time, after the next term, you as a party, you will not appoint him as our flag bearer. Yala Musal, so go lose, which is he's not even going to lose, he's going to win. But supposedly he lose, the father say 1 term to seek for the presidency. Even if he wins, he will still honor the 2-term mandate. Okay. Because politics, what I'm making personally, the foreign making idea. The NUP has a well-structured idea. It has well-structured policies embedded in our people's manifesto, most manifesto. So I explain to the manifesto, develop. Okay. Now, so the party be 2018 but 2020 now there is a 2 years gap. Now the National Unity Party then get these 2 years to collect data. Then them back to the masses because then feel we need to adopt what we call the bottom-top approach. Serve the people. The people should have an opinion. People should be able to tell them naka lañ bëgg seen réew mi ñu gouverner ko. Data boobu lañ collect. When they say back to headquarters, you consult some subject matter specialists. You build some manifesto. It's an all-inclusive document. So whosoever is going to serve under the NUP banner, you're going to serve on a project. So it's not about personality, it's about the project. Okay. Even though personality is important because Tana based on some selection process and procedure. But again, in the end, it's about the project that we have for the Gambian people. Okay. Loolu moo tax ñun soo ñu xoolee ñun ay ŋaañanteeg saaganteeg teesanteeg xasane duñ ci duga. Because it doesn't make sense te amul benn njëriñ pour réew mi Gambia. The country has played enough, honestly. Okay, it's very important to know that. Last questions to the program. Are you guys open to coalition? This is as simple as drinking water. Of course, yes, 100%. The NUP is open to coalition talks. However, we are not getting into coalitions for convenience sake. Let that be clear. Okay, how? The National Unity Party is not only going to get into coalition because party nanga mo fa neka. So there's a possibility we can win. Mun nañu am ministerial position benn wala ñaar déedéet. Okay. So ñuy dugg into a coalition dafa fekk ne teg nañ ay sarta yu set, sarta yu leew, ba pare mu doon coalition bu xamante ne ñu nekk si biir coalition suñu xelaat bi yëpp benn la. At least am nañ lu ñu niru si wàllum xelaat. So all the 2016 coalition, that issue lañ mujjoon a am. Okay. Even though Halifa, one of our political godfathers, will tell you the ultimate objective was to remove Jammeh. But the aftermath became disastrous. Sure. So these are things that we really need to avoid. I'm not saying the 2016 model is a bad one. Okay. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that as a country, we could have done better. Sure. That is why ñu dugg into coalitions dafa nekk dañoo seet ñan lañ nekk di dugg si coalition bi. They have to be people that are patriotic or parties that are patriotic. Tendencies of patriotism, of course. Parties someone that have integrity, have no color. Parties someone they are honest. Okay. And their ideals are revolutionary. Don't you have the technical know-how to implement those ideas? Because when we get into coalition talks, we need to go there with an open mind. Whosoever wins will be able to lead a project. Because when you develop all the policies, let's say 10, 15, 20, 5, 7-point agenda, whatever agenda that we develop, every single person that's going to serve in governance is not going to serve on his own accord. dafa serve based on the policies and programs that we advocated for, that we seek the mandate for. So in the end, it's not going to be about personality. It's not going to be about individual. It's going to be about campaign.
Okay.
That has to be made clear.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Jajo, for attending the program today's issues. And mbokk yi jërë ngeen jëf comme ni ñu ko dee faralee di defee fii nii si biir kër gi lii di N24 TV online boo xam ne mu ngi si Bakaw fii nii kon nag lii di programme issues boo xam ne daf leen di ñëwal diggante àllarba mu nekk jëmale ko lii di si ñeenti waxtu jëmale ko lii di si juróom-benni waxtu yi si ngoon ñu amoon fi lii di National Unity Party kii di seen waxkat bi Mr. Jaaju kon nag lii di waxtaan boo xam ne amoon nañ ko fii nii kontaan nañ jërë ngeen jëf ba beneen yoon incha allah si programme bi kon nag topp leen